Hey everyone, this is Dissonant Echoes. This is the official podcast for Hauntology Records. I'm Adrian Gutierrez. I'm the owner of Hauntology Records, and this is Alan.
What's up? I'm the vice president of Hauntology Records now, and I'm here to co-host the podcast with Adrian.
Yeah, so not quite sure what exactly we're going to do with this format, but we have a couple of announcements. Liminal Animal Records out. We have uh, we have the re-release 1 year anniversary of Pulled Strings. We still have a ton of Gnashing Teeth records. We have the new Mind Prisoner that just came out. You can grab shirts too, 50% off right now. So, yeah, this podcast, not quite sure exactly how it's going to go, but we're just going to kind of wing it for the first episode.
Yeah, so I'd just like to say thanks for doing this with me, man. And yeah, like you just said, we've got plenty of merch available. We've got merch on two continents, so check all that out. Um, and just real quick, everybody, if you would just subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, and then anything in the future you can check out as well.
Yeah, shout out to Gabriel for running the EU distro. We have a bunch of merch, a bunch of tapes from Rotting Sun Records over there. And then Liminal Animal is also selling his records from out over there. So if you're in the EU, um, pick up a record, pick up some tapes. So I guess first episode we kind of were thinking about talking about streaming and kind of the vision that we have for Hauntology Records. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
Before we get into the main topic, I just wanted to quickly discuss like what we're kind of planning on doing for these first few episodes. Just generally, like we want to have discussions between you and I about things like you just said, like streaming music. That's going to be today's topic. We'll probably have plenty of interviews with Hauntology Records artists and artists from other labels that uh we want to talk to, that we know personally, that we have things to discuss that would be interesting. One example is I've got a bandmate that I want to talk about programmed instruments in music on the podcast with, since a lot of our artists use programmed instruments like drums and stuff. So that's kind of a hot topic we can talk about. But yeah,
yeah,
for today, we'll talk about streaming music and specifically like the problems with streaming music, kind of ethically and business wise.
yeah, yeah. This streaming is kind of a new challenge. I think a lot of artists they think they have to do it just because everyone else is, but I feel for black metal in particular, I think they need to look at different options for how people consume their music because I don't believe that streaming is like a path forward for indie artists. I think they need to look at a lot of different alternatives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, personally, for me, it's a new frame of mind. You've kind of shown me the light. I was personally chasing streams, chasing monthly listeners up until like summer of this year when my Bandcamp finally started to work, you know?
Mm, yeah, Bandcamp is a great alternative for indie artists. I think most of the people that listen to all the stuff we have is coming from Bandcamp. Streaming, I mean, they pay us fractions of a penny per stream. It's not a sustainable way to produce music. I feel like in a way it kind of robs the Bandcamp fans of like something. If you just give the album for free on streaming, why would you even bother trying to like support the artist on Bandcamp? Um, the model only really works if you get like billions of streams. Between a bunch of the hauntology artists, we had like over 70,000 streams, and we brought in maybe $150 last year from streaming. Uh,
Yeah,
this
totally.
Bandcamp gets a fraction of that, and the sales are like 10 times higher. So the idea that like you have to be on streaming, I think I think a lot of indie artists really need to rethink their positions on that. Streaming can be used possibly as like a way to like advertise, but I don't think like putting entire albums on there is the way to go for streaming. Streaming's okay for artist discovery, but I think I think most like extreme music in general needs to look at different ways to approach the way they distribute their music. And I think Bandcamp is a good option. And I'm sure there's going to be different ways in the future. Bands are going to start putting out their music. I know a lot of artists are starting to sell directly from their own websites, so that might be something Hauntology starts looking into. But there has to be a different way for independent artists and independent labels to distribute their music to get heard.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. Two important things to me. One of them is, like I said, this is a new kind of way of thinking about music for me. And one of the revelations I've had is, for most of history, artists would just go to local shops and exhibit their art locally. And they
Mm,
didn't ever have a global reach unless they became extremely popular, So music doesn't have to be this like this chase, this obsession with like everybody across the whole globe listening to you. Now that's great, but even if you have a small local fan base, I feel like that's something to be proud of, especially if you're playing live shows and stuff like that. Like that's really fulfilling. So that's one thing, is just that, your audience, it doesn't really matter um if you uh, basically what I'm trying to say is that streaming is not like where you should seek your validation from. That's kind of the point that I've come to understand recently.
yeah,
If one person on this globe, no matter where they are, likes what you're doing, that's enough validation for like your to keep going forever, in my opinion.
yeah,
So, because that's just the way I work. Like I make the music for myself. Somebody else likes it. That's a cherry on top, and it just makes me want to keep going even more. But ultimately, distributing music is not even like necessary for me to be happy. I just have to keep making it.
yeah,
So that's one
absolutely.
that's one thing. If you have anything to say about that, then go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when you're touching on like the local artist thing, a lot of people don't realize like you don't need a massive fan base to like make a living off of music. Um, Basically, the idea that I have is what the independent artist needs is about 100. They need like 1,000 real true fans, 1,000 fans that are willing to like give an artist $100 a year. You can make a very good living off of that. 1,000 true fans, $100 a year is $100,000 a year. You don't need
Yeah,
millions of fans to make it. Um, what you need to do is build a community that will support your art. We don't need billions of streams. Like I can't even fathom how many streams you would need to make a living off of this, especially like when you start getting into like these bigger numbers. You work with record labels. Some of these record labels are very predatory, where they're going to be taking the majority of the streaming money anyway. Um, I think artists need to like really like forget about like the idea that you're going to become like a worldwide sensation, especially like doing the music we're doing.
yeah,
And that's how you're going to make your living. Focus on this, like you're building your small community first. I mean, everybody has a dream of like being a household name, but like you don't need that to be
that's true.
successful in this.
Yeah, and it's not even like something most people would enjoy. I feel like, not
Yeah,
that I could speak from experience, but I feel like being really popular makes it a lot more stressful. Probably it makes it
yeah,
just, yeah. You feel like you can't be as honest. Probably things like that.
yeah. It's funny like the so like hauntology's very small. Like it's a very small community, but like I'm still like swarmed with like messages like daily. I get emails constantly. So I couldn't imagine some of these like bigger names,
Yeah,
like they man, they must just be nonstop.
And that's probably a topic for a future show is like the need for smaller labels, like what purpose we serve and, where we fit into the picture. But we can save that for another discussion.
Yeah,
Another thing that came to mind is earlier when we were talking is, in this kind of transformation that I've had about how I consume music, the main thing I've realized about streaming is that $11 a month for every song ever is just not an ethical way to listen to enjoy music,
yeah,
in my opinion. Um, when someone buys my album on Bandcamp, now granted it's name your price, so they can download the files for free. But if somebody chooses to pay even $1 for my album on Bandcamp, that feels better to me, more supportive to me as an artist than 1,000 streams,
yeah,
like by a large percentage. And so I've just come to realize that if I really enjoy music, I should be buying albums. Nothing has changed from the time of when iTunes and Walmart Music and all that was popular until now, ethically. It's
yeah,
just that streaming services have stepped in and said, "Oh, well, you want this too good to be true model, even though we're not making any money on it. Well, let's
yeah,
just try this out."
yeah. I mean, Spotify's model is just like it's being propped up by investors. That's the only reason they're able to continue to operate. They basically have a pool of money, and it's all divided amongst the artists. So uh, I think uh, I think they're finally starting to realize like it's not sustainable. That I believe they're going to raise prices for streaming, and then I don't know if they already have, but they're also talking about removing like creating a threshold of streams for you to hit before you actually get paid out. Um, and in a sense that makes sense. Like if you're getting less than 1,000 streams, like you're not going to get anything anyway. So that would just increase the pool for the artists that are like producing more popular music. But like uh, if you're creating music that is very niche, it's going to be hard to like for people to actually like find your music and stream it when you have this library of everything. So it's becoming harder and harder to hit those thresholds. And I think like the equivalent of like $1 from streaming, I think I mean, like if somebody pays you $1 for your Bandcamp album, that's the equivalent of like 280 streams or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, what one person is gonna listen to your music like over 200 times?
right.
It's like not very often. So the return on Bandcamp is much greater than streaming. Uh, like I said, like it streaming only works if you're like creating extremely popular music. Um, so I think the way forward is just like move to Bandcamp, create your own website, do stuff like that to avoid like getting trapped in like chasing numbers on streaming services.
Right. So, like, here's the thing: we're aiming for true fans of music, people
Yeah.
that enjoy listening to music as a hobby, right?
Hmm.
And the thing about those people is that even most of them at this point have been totally sold on the convenience of streaming because it is the most convenient way to listen to music,
Yeah.
right? You just search for your thing, play it, it's there.
Yeah.
With files that you download, it's a little bit harder to get to your phone. Now we can talk about Plex, which is a great way, and also what's it called? Rune. Rune and Plex are two great ways to stream your own files from your computer or a server
Hmm.
to your phone. And that's how I listen to music now.
Yeah.
But there's also just the Bandcamp app. If you buy
Yeah.
mostly from Bandcamp, you can stream directly from the app, and then you still have most of the convenience factor there. Plus, you're buying albums,
Yeah.
or getting them for free from artists as well. Well, that you don't it doesn't go to the Bandcamp app if you don't pay anything, but that's a good thing, because it encourages just $1 or so.
Yeah. I think like with the Bandcamp thing, like you can create playlists and you could shuffle there also. So like there's still like some of the convenience of like how the streaming services, but yeah, I mean streaming has basically just made it too easy for people to listen to music, and they're just kind of they kind of just expect music to be packaged like that. And
Yeah.
I can't blame the consumers because like like if why should they why do artists feel like they deserve the fans' money, right? And for a while, like the record labels and artists have took advantage of that. Those like CDs were $20, you know, and they're filled with tracks that were just not good, just filler tracks. And so when iTunes came around, the artist had to actually start creating music that was worth buying. Um, and that made it that I think ultimately that's what like created all this like all these problems like downstream is because a lot of artists were phoning it in with all these like terrible songs, but they needed to fill their album so they could make sales. So what I think like both I think like the record labels and the artists themselves need to step up their game when give the fans a reason to actually purchase your music beyond just the music. Make quality music that you actually want to listen to, and then package it so that the fans will feel like they actually got something that is actually kind of important to them, instead of just like throwaway tracks and cheap like I don't know cheap merch. Like yeah, you got to give them a complete package, and that's kind of what I was trying to focus with Pontology Records is trying to be like a boutique, trying to uh, sell something beyond just the music, like the whole art package, so that the fans feel like they're actually getting something that they deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can speak for myself as an artist when I make an EP or an album or even just like two songs. I'm thinking about listening to them in order back to back, right? I'm
Mhm.
thinking about listening to them as an experience.
Yeah,
And, it's interesting. I hadn't thought about the fact that CDs were kind of padded towards the end of the time before streaming came along and iTunes came along and all that.
yeah,
But, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I'm finding all kinds of stuff lately on Bandcamp, just searching around on the website, and also on this really cool website called GetMusic.fm, which has been really cool. We've worked with
yeah,
them, put our music on there for free, and I've just found like free music and stuff that I really enjoy. That's not even in the genres that I normally listen to. So I mean, as long as we have services like that, we can circumvent streaming and still get like all of the most of the convenience of like music discovery and streaming the songs to our phone
yeah.
wherever we are in the world and playlists and shuffling and all that stuff like you said. We can still have all these like nice things, and yet we can ethically consume music and enjoy music.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with like the Bandcamp thing and like for me, like putting the music out there, that is not. I'm not doing that to like just make money, right? Like the idea, like we give out pretty much all the music for free, and a lot of the
Yeah.
music like sells at a loss. But what we're trying to do is just build a community for like future sustained growth. Um, like you said, we use Get Music, given out a ton of codes, and that has brought in actual fans, like people that have come in. Like we found, I got a lot of sales for the actual physical for gnashing teeth just through Get Music. A lot of people discovered, they discover a lot of the music just through that site. It builds
Yeah.
actual fans. So something about Bandcamp itself, like it being such like a tight knit community, I think like brings in real fans. I don't think streaming can really compete with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bandcamp is a really great platform. There's been some critiques from competitors recently I've seen about them not really changing anything for a number of years, but it works. I mean, I
Yeah,
love it. It's my favorite place to buy music. Sometimes there is music that isn't available on Bandcamp because you have to sign up as an artist, you have to sign up or your label has to sign you up and you have to put it on there manually, right?
yeah,
So there's music that's not on there. And a lot of the time if it's distributed through main channels in the industry, you can find it on Qobuz, which is a different website I use sometimes. Uh, and Qobuz has up like high res downloads or just regular CD quality downloads of a lot of different artists, especially artists that were around in like the 60s and 70s and 80s before Bandcamp existed. Obviously, you can download the music there, and it goes
Hmm.
through the regular channels of the record labels and stuff like that. So, I mean, for me personally, the way I do it is I just download music from either Qobuz or Bandcamp or from the artist's website or whatever, and I also have all the files from music that I've accumulated over the years of buying music and downloading, like all the way back to when Nine Inch Nails released The Slip for free. They
Hmm.
released that album for free back in 2008, and I remember that being the first time I could download an album from a big artist I loved for free. Still got those files, and all the files that I bought recently, I put those on a portable hard drive, and then I just stream it to my phone with the Plex amp app.
Hmm.
And it has all the features of streaming, like shuffling and playlists, and you can even pay for like AI features if you want it to recommend more songs to you and stuff like that. But for free, it's great. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out some of those. I mean, like most of the music I listen to is straight from the Bandcamp app.
right, which is fine. I mean, it
Yeah,
works really well,
yeah,
and plus, it encourages you to listen to the whole album that way. So
yeah. I'm hoping to try and like figure out like I know like SoundCloud I could connect music to the website, which I haven't been taking care of, but I'm hoping to be able to like put music directly onto the website, and then like also having ways to purchase music directly through the website also.
yeah, well, you can embed Bandcamp players on your website too.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that. Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that artists can like really figure out like ways to distribute the music. And I think like streaming and its convenience have made the record labels, mostly the record labels, lazy when it comes to putting out music because it's just easy, and they're getting kickbacks from the streaming services. You're getting better deals. Meanwhile, like we're uploading the music and we're paying to upload it. You know, like it's a losing situation for small artists, and I really think like I like me personally any of my music I will never put the full album on any streaming platforms. It'll only there'll be Bandcamp exclusives. Uh, I may still put singles up, but full albums will always be Bandcamp exclusives.
Right. Well, I mean, it doesn't do you any good to put the whole album
Yeah,
on Spotify, and like you just said, it doesn't really do the people that actually support you any good either.
yeah, yeah. You know, uh, I like my vision for hauntology is just like artist first, and just really like pushing physical merch and like Bandcamp. Yeah, but I mean, we're going to be looking into different revenues also, but I really think like physical media. I personally love it. I have a ton of records, ton of tapes, ton of CDs. It's just different, like having the entire package there. The artwork, you know, lyrics, everything.
Yeah.
It's a totally different experience. I just love putting on the record, and just like reading whatever the artist has to say on the album and stuff. It's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that's one thing I've got to do is I've got to get another turntable and a preamp so I can listen to records again.
You know, yeah. I mean, like, uh, I have a Audio Technica, I think 60 LP something.
Right.
It's pretty good. Um, I was using like it was like a combo CD tape record player. It was a really bad one,
Oof.
but
I bet that was great.
it was pretty bad. The built-in speakers. I
Oh
was,
man.
but like it worked. So there's like alternatives that like you can look into, but
Yeah, I used to have a really nice turntable and amplifier, and I had it all on a really nice like it was like a piece of furniture. Like it had shelves, and it was like just really well designed.
yeah,
So I'm gonna slowly build that back up.
Yeah.
Because it is, like you said, it is a really cool experience to pull out the liner notes and
Yeah.
look at them and put on a record and have to flip the side over and everything. And
Yeah.
also, I just want to release music on vinyl, so I need a record player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. Um, I I need to get some new speakers because I'm using my PA speakers right now. My dad has some really nice speakers at his house. He found at a garage sale. I gotta pick those up. I forget what they're like. These like they look like they're from the '70s, and they're like made out of wood. They're real like high end. Um,
yeah.
I gotta grab those.
Yeah, don't overpay for speakers. Do your research. There's a lot of marketing crap with hi-fi, but
Yeah,
as long as it sounds, decent, then you're good,
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, PA speaker is probably not the best option.
yeah, yeah. Definitely not. Yeah, I got a monitor and some PA speakers. So I was trying to set up for like gigs in the backyard,
Right.
trying to do DIY shows in the backyard. So,
Yeah, we
but
were talking about doing that. I think we were originally planning on having a little show this past August, but obviously that didn't work out. That's okay.
yeah, I get it's a lot of coordination that's gotta happen. Um, I still want to do that.
It'd
I
be a
got
lot
all the
easier than
equipment.
putting on a festival, that's for sure.
Yeah, we just do DIY garage shows or in the backyard. Um, I got the space, but I don't know. I thought about reaching out to a couple bands. I don't know the like with Hauntology, like a lot of these guys are just like single artists, so
Yeah, that's
like
true. You got to
that's
find a whole
tough.
band.
Yeah, yeah,
I know that from experience with Pull the Strings.
yeah. I would love to do a show as Icy Satan, and it just I can't find people that want to like play that kind of music.
Yeah, it can be hard. I mean, I'm amazed. I'm truly blown away that not only did I find a band to play dissonant death metal with, but we're about to go on tour. Like it's insane to me.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, man. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I gotta head out there and catch a show. I really want I really want to see you guys play.
It's going to be a good time. We've got another show after that tour in February too, so you've got four opportunities if you want to. But I'm not going to tell you that you should because that's an expensive endeavor. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
I'd love to see you.
yeah. Definitely. I don't know. Probably will just like fly out there for a weekend or something and try and catch a show. But I don't know.
The studio that we practice at for Signosis, we have the ability to do live streamed shows from there. So we'll probably end up doing one of those as well if you can't catch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you guys can play in my backyard.
I mean, it would be quite the drive up there
Well, I'm
to
thinking
your
like
area.
if all right. How many guitars do you guys have? Like it's
We're gonna have. Let me think about this for a second. My bass, which is just
mhm.
one, then we'll have Thomas's guitar, which is two, and then Chris will have two guitars, so four.
um okay. I'm trying to think like logistically like how we could get you out here like with the least amount of equipment. You could fly with the guitar. Like you don't even have to
Yeah,
like
that's true.
yeah.
It's scary to me because I've never done it. Like I'm so scared that it's gonna get thrown out of the plane or something. But
No, you
yeah.
can carry it on. Like
Oh,
that's
true, true,
like
true.
yeah. So you don't even have to you don't have
Yeah,
to put it on the thing.
Chris could technically just use just the 8 string and not take his 7 and he'd be good still. So that'd make just 3 guitars, and if we each flew with ours, that's possible.
Yeah, I have a 7 string. Um uh I have I have 3 8 strings and then I have the 6 string bass, which is basically a
That's true.
five
You've pretty
string.
much got us covered on on
Yeah.
on instruments.
The only thing I don't have a bass amp right now.
Oh
Um
yeah, well see we don't even use amps normally, so we'd have to figure out amps. Normally we just go digital straight to the board.
well we can do that. I have a mixing board and then the PA system.
Hell yeah,
Um
dude.
dude, we can do this. Like I don't know. We can make it happen. Um I have And if even if you guys want to play with an amp, I have my Mesa Boogie, the dual rectifier, 412 Mesa cab, the oversized,
Yeah, that's true.
and
That thing would be
and
loud.
and then I have a 50 watt or 60 watt 6505 plus. That one's pretty cool.
That's pretty similar to what Chris used to have. He had the PV Invective amp, the 25 or 50 watt one. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I upgraded the speaker on there too. It's a vintage 30, I think they're called.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it sounds much better. It sounds heavy. It's
nice, dude.
so
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. I'll bring it up in the band chat, band
yeah,
server.
figure out like
Probably not this first half of the year, I would say. Let's plan farther out so we can maybe get some other bands involved. That'd be really fun, though.
yeah. You think Dead Languages would come up here?
I'm sure they would, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
That'd be
so
so fun. Man, I haven't seen Jeremy and the guys in a long time. Well, Jeremy and Tom and whoever he's playing with now.
yeah, I gotta start like a crypto scam and just like make a bunch of money to fund all this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like I don't know. I'm gonna buy some Hawk Tuah coin and try and fund fund the next show. Man, I can't. Have you been like following any of that?
No, I haven't been
Oh
following any
my
news. I know
god.
about, I've heard about the Hawk Tuah coin. I've heard about the drones that are flying over the East Coast, but I don't know about any of this stuff, man.
Yeah, I think I that is probably like the funniest thing I've ever heard that people got scammed out of the Hawk Tuah coin. Like they really thought that was their ticket out, man. I don't know. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Hauntology Records is going to try and implement that as a way to like pay for records now. We're going to take Hawk Tuah coin.
right. Yeah. I mean, we are just basically on the decentralization train already, so we might as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah, we accept Hawk Tuah, Doge, Pepe coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to take all the coins you got. Um, Man, we're living in crazy times.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really look out my window. I just sit here at this computer and make music all the time.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I've been I don't know, man. Like every time I see the news, it's something like something weird is going on. Yeah, I've not like the drone thing is like really bizarre. I've not been following that, but like
Yeah.
I've seen on Reddit every once in a while people are like saying it's aliens and stuff. So
Yeah, that's what people in my like Facebook like my hometown people that I have on Facebook, they're all saying it's aliens.
yeah, I'm pretty skeptical about it being aliens. It feels like why would aliens? I don't know. This seems weird.
Yeah, I doubt that it's aliens, but I always doubt that it's aliens if that's a possible explanation. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I have a pretty controversial take where I don't believe there's aliens at all. But
oh, we've talked about that
yeah,
before.
I
Yeah,
just but yeah, I mean, like, because I know drones, like they flew over my house and said we needed a new roof. That's so like the insurance companies are like flying drones like
wow,
over people's homes now and telling
I didn't
them
know that was a thing.
it's horrible. We got to spend a ton of money on a new roof now, otherwise they're going to drop us from our insurance.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe people just need to replace the roofs. That's probably what's going on over there. Um,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
We got way off topic there, but it was a fun little exercise of thought about a show in your backyard. We got to make
That's
that
true.
happen. But
Yeah,
anyway, I mean, streaming, like, yeah, I mean, dude, it's just not the way. There's got to be a better way. That's basically how I feel about it. When you if you want to sum it up into a sentence, it's just like there's got to be a better way than this system, and there
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. With streaming, like I don't know. I don't want to say like we got to like teach fans how to listen to their music or consume it, but like, what we do need is like to find fans that are actually like passionate about music, you know?
Yeah. And that's not to say that people that just have Spotify aren't passionate about
Right.
music. Like they totally are. There's so many of them that are, but you know, passionate about not just enjoying the music, but also realizing that that enjoyment has value to you and you should pay for it. That's the part that's missing.
Yeah, like they're the artist behind it can't continue to create if there's no like if there's no path forward, and streaming is kind of a dead end for most artists. Um, I can't. I think most of the music on Spotify doesn't get make any money. I think the majority doesn't even get any like plays. So
Yeah, that would hold up to scrutiny, I believe. There's a lot of I don't want to say like waste or garbage because that's really reductive, but there's a lot of music on there that isn't being promoted in any way and that has no chance of finding an audience.
yeah, I mean like there's got to be so much hidden gems in streaming that no one will ever hear,
That's true, yeah.
and
Definitely.
there's also just going to be stuff that people probably should never hear. You know,
Yeah,
like
like my old Shrouded Mirror albums.
yeah. I mean, there's going to be a ton of stuff like that. Just um, I don't know, like there's like this like fear for artists to like promote the music. They don't want to do that, and they actually a lot of the bands that reach out to me don't really understand promotion, and they kind of look to the label to like help push their music, which obviously that's what the label's job is, like to push music for sales and stuff like that. But I think a lot of artists need to like really uh, if they want to be heard, they have to understand like it's not just going to be given to them. They have to actually like really push themselves. Like no one's going to promote your music more than yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to become a businessman when
Yeah,
you're just an artist, when especially like if you start off like I did where I was just a guitar player
yeah,
and it was just a hobby, like I'd get home from work and unwind by playing guitar,
yeah.
you know? Going from that to being a songwriter and then going from that to being a small business owner, those are like huge steps.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's like it's a really weird like leap from like artist to like label promoter. Um, yeah, I mean, not being an independent artist. If you're really trying to like make it, like, there's a lot of stuff that people don't really see that they have to do. And like, there's a lot of things that the record labels do that don't get noticed or even like appreciated. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like I've put a lot of time, like money, effort into the label, and most like I still have people like say like all record labels are just like greedy and trying to like you know make money
Right.
off of their artists. Like it would, I wish
Yeah, no,
I
I mean
could make.
at the beginning stages like we're in
Yeah,
still, I mean it's an out of pocket investment. That's what it is.
yeah. It's a lot of risk involved in starting any business. It's there's a lot of challenges though. I'm like, I've never done this before. There's a lot of stuff that's come up that I had no idea like what to do, and
Yeah.
it takes a there's a lot of it's a huge learning process to like I had to start an LLC, so if anyone tries to sue me, I don't lose my house. Like
Right.
it's like a lot of stuff that
Yeah, there is
um,
a lot. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, man. I mean, it's really cool what you've started here. I mean, what we've started technically since, it started because of a joke that I made, but
yeah,
I mean, it's grown into something really cool and I think it is going to keep growing, but it's never going to become this greedy label that people imagine. Like we're going to make sure that doesn't happen.
yeah, yeah. Every artist I worked with, I try to make sure that they're happy with the deals we make, and I try to put the artist first, and everything we put out. Anytime we make a sale or anything for any of the music, it just goes back into the label, like to just
Yeah.
promote more artists and stuff. It's like I'm not like the label's over a year old. You know, we haven't even been like close to turning a profit. And
Yeah.
I don't predict it's going to make a profit for the next couple of years. Just because like everything that comes in is just going to get put back into the label to continue to grow. But we've seen pretty good growth so far. It was actually surprising in the beginning. Like I was not expecting, Icy Satan and Hauntology to like really kind of take off like it has.
Yeah,
So
man. I mean, a big part of it is because we work with really talented people, you know,
yeah,
visual artists, musicians. Everybody we work with is really good, so that helps a lot.
yeah. I think selecting like for artists that kind of understand the vision, and also like most of the artists have been very generous. They've like done everything they can to help push the label and stuff too. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
very true.
it's worked for
Yeah,
everyone.
we have a community, you know,
Yeah,
and we have a Discord server for that now too. By the way, everybody, so go look through
yeah,
the link to that under the description of this video and join.
yeah. There's also a link in the Hauntology Instagram. It's in the links over there too.
Yeah,
So I guess start sharing that more. But we got a lot of stuff planned for the server. So
hell yeah, there will be some giveaways and stuff like that, I believe.
yeah, we're working on that. We're going to be giving out some records and CDs and stuff.
Sweet, dude. I mean, we pretty much covered streaming. That was the main topic for today. You know, in the future, we'll have on some guests to interview and talk about things with. You know, we'll have, you know, maybe some more interesting and fun segments than what we had today. But this is, you know, the pilot episode. So I
Yeah,
hope you'll forgive us for wrapping up a little soon today. If, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for everyone for stopping by. This was an interesting stream. Yeah, we'll be a little more. I'll be a little more focused, like in future episodes. But we'll see how it goes. Like, well, we're thinking like what, like monthly. We'll be trying to drop these,
Yeah,
and
in the beginning, that's a good
yeah,
goal. We've got a few episodes planned, and then after that,
yeah,
if we have more ideas to justify doing it like bi-weekly, maybe we could do that.
yeah. We'll see what happens. I see if these start getting catching on, and then we'll probably, I don't know. We have a couple ideas going forward, but I want to also do some like Q&As and stuff because a lot of people like um they're interested in the label and like what we do, and like they also want to like ask the artist questions and stuff. So if you guys in the comments want to um, ask any questions, anything you want to know, anything about the future of the label or anything, just let us know.
Yeah, just do that over on YouTube, and we'll definitely incorporate those into a Q&A video.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right,
You got
man.
anything else to wrap up before we close out with some music?
Uh, Pick up the new Liminal Animal and Mind Prisoner records. They're on sale at the Bandcamp page, ontologyrecords.bandcamp.com. And thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for checking out the first episode of Dissonant Echoes, everybody. I'd like to end the episode with a track from the new Liminal Animal LP called Lamentations, and this track is called That Which Was Lost. Enjoy.